Can we squeeze 200 foot-pounds out of the Kobalt impact wrench? You'll have to stick around to find out. I'm Tim Johnson. You're watching Shop Tool Reviews. This is the Kobalt 3/8 inch 24 volt max brushless right angle impact wrench. Now Kobalt claims this has 180 foot-pounds of breakaway force, but how much torque does it have tightening? Well, we'll find that out. We'll also find out, will it break free fasteners that are torqued to 180 foot-pounds? We'll see that. We'll also push it past that if it can do it. Let's talk about some of the features, and then we'll go straight to the test bench. This is the Kobalt 24 volt max 3/8 inch brushless right angle impact wrench. Supposed to put out like 180 foot-pounds of breakaway force. So we're going to put that to the test here in a moment. It does have a brushless motor, as I mentioned. You also get an LED light here that when you pull the trigger, that's going to light up, trying to shine it there on the fastener. So it's just one LED, but it does seem to be pretty bright. Have a directional lever here to switch from forward to reverse. I kind of like that it's indented in there so you don't accidentally hit that. You've actually got to do that on purpose with your thumb or forefinger or whatever finger you decide. So I do like that. So it's not in your way. You're not going to hit it and change that direction. Somewhat of a trigger slash paddle style. So it's a larger trigger and grab with two fingers, one finger, whatever's comfortable. You are going to get a variable speed trigger. Up to 2,000 RPMs. I don't know about the impacts per minute, but up to 2,000 RPMs. So 0 to 2,000 RPMs. As I mentioned, runs on their 24 volt max platform. And I've got the 4 amp hour battery in here. Now it doesn't come kitted with a battery. You can buy this tool for $99 and it also comes with a 5-year warranty. So that's not real common in the tool industry to get 5 years. So you get 5 years out of the box warranty with this. You're going to find this at Lowe's. So let's use this, see what we think about it. But first, let me weigh this, kind of get an idea of what kind of weight we're looking at here. I'll weigh it with and without the battery as well. So we're zeroed out. There we go. And with the 4 amp hour battery, you're looking a little over 5 pounds. 5 pounds, 2.5 ounces. Let's do it sans battery, because you may decide to run a 2 amp hour battery on it. And that's going to run 3 pounds, 7 ounces. So a little over 4 pounds with the battery and 3.5 pounds without the battery. But of course, you're going to have to run a battery. So that gives you an idea. Not overly heavy. It is pretty heavy here on the front end, but it's not too imbalanced either. And I like it with that bigger battery for that case. It's not too nose heavy now. With a lighter battery, it could tend to be nose heavy. As far as length goes on it, it is not a short tool by any means, but it's kind of tough to pack everything in with an impact mechanism, a motor, and a battery without having to go lengthways, if you will, to keep it compact. So you're looking at a little over 18 inches, looks like 18.25 inches from tip to tail on this. And as far as height goes, as far as the head, a little over 3 inches tall here. So that's from the point of the 3/8 anvil to the top of the head right there. Let's use this, see what we think. Okay, what we're going to do first is we are going to take our torque gun here and we are going to torque these down. I'm going to start here at 80 foot-pounds and we're going to go from 80 foot-pounds to 100 and then 25 increments, 125, 150, 175, 200, and then I'll jump up here to 225 and 250. It's supposed to have 180 foot-pounds of breakaway force, so we shouldn't have to go over 200. Maybe we do. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and start here. Let's see. So it's set at 80. Okay, so we've got it set to 80 foot-pounds, 100 foot-pounds, 125, 150, 175, 200, and 225 foot-pounds. So we've got our 33 millimeter socket with the 3/8 inch adapter on it, because we do have a 3/8 inch anvil here. So we're going to see here, and by the way, 4 amp hour battery, full charge on this. So it is good to go. Let me make sure I'm in reverse. There we go. Little hearing protection. 80 foot-pounds. Not a problem. Here's 100. Not a problem either. Here's 125. It's 125. Here's 150. That's 150. Here's 175. Got 175, then 200. No problem there. And now let's go 225. Okay, we got 225. So I'm going to go ahead and run a couple of these back down. And let's start at 250 now. All right, now I've got to go to my bigger gun here. We'll go 275. And we'll go 300. Okay, so now what we have is 250 foot-pounds, 275 foot-pounds, and 300 foot-pounds. Okay, so we got 250. Let's go to 275. 275, now 300. Okay, we're going to start at 325. 350. 375. And we'll go to 400. Okay, looks like it stops right there. That's all it'll take. Still did quite a bit more, way more than the 180 foot-pounds. Now let's take it and we'll tighten each one of these and then we'll measure it with our torque wrench to get a reading on it. Okay, here's the deal on this. We're going to take the Kobalt 24 Max right angle impact and we're going to tighten each one of these and we're going to hammer on them for 5 seconds each. Once it starts tightening and we hear the impact mechanism hitting, we're going to count to 5 and we're going to move on and do all 10 of these. Take our torque wrench, back them off, get a reading. Okay, now we're going to take our torque wrench and we'll get a reading taking these off. We got it set to 250 here. Shouldn't get anywhere near that. 166.6, 160.7, 150 even, 151.6, 149.5, 145.2, 143.7, 144.6, 170.4, 165.5. We have to admit that's pretty impressive numbers coming from the Kobalt right angle impact wrench. We had no idea that it would be able to break away that much force. In fact, we went all the way up to 325 foot-pounds. It had trouble doing that, wouldn't break it free, but in all honesty, it did break it free. It just took a few seconds longer. So we typically like to let it hit for like 10 seconds because that's really longer than you would be using an impact like this for. If you're pushing it harder than that, it's time to get a different tool to do the job. I know sometimes you have to push it back past that point, but I don't want to do all my testing when I'm letting it sitting there in hammers for say 30 seconds. So 10 seconds is our rule when we're loosening to let it sit there for 10 seconds. But it took a couple of seconds longer, but it did break that free. We're going to call it 300 foot-pounds. So it was able to break 300 foot-pounds free, but it stopped on the 325 before 10 seconds. Now, as far as tightening, that's where we were really blown away because, again, at 180 foot-pounds of loosening force, we would expect to see somewhere in the, just over 100 foot-pounds on the tightening force. What we actually saw was an average of 155 foot-pounds of tightening force is what we measured from the torque wrench. Now, when you take a factor of that, because we have to divide by a factor because it takes less force to break something free, so when we're using that torque wrench to break it free, that takes less force than it does to tighten it. So we divide by that factor, which is somewhere between 75 and 80%. We used 80 because we did another round of testing. I explained that in the whole video. But anyway, so we divide by our factor and we get an average of 194 foot-pounds of tightening force. So it has more tightening force than it claims it has nut-busting force. But as we can tell, it had more nut-busting force than what they claim. Now, I don't know why they underrated this from our perspective anyway, but great job on that. It's much better finding that out rather than the inverse of that or the opposite of that. So the Kobalt 24 volt max right angle impact did very well. Now, you can get this as bare tool, so no battery. It's going to run you $99. With a battery, I think I've seen, you know, 2 battery kits, like where you can get a 2 amp hour and a 4 amp hour and a charger for like $129. So you're looking, if you bought that kit and this, you're looking at, you know, somewhere around $229 for both of those. You get a 5-year warranty with this tool. So again, $99 bare tool, 5-year warranty. You're going to find these at Lowe's. All your Kobalt tools you're going to find at Lowe's. So make sure you check them out. Also keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you don't mind, will you hit that like and subscribe button? But only if you like this video. If you hated this video, give us that thumbs down. But you know what? Would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.